Hi guys, good to see you again. We are making Aloo Gobi today, which translates to potato cauliflower, rather than cauliflower potato, but hey ho, that's the translation. So just to show you what I've got a frying pan here, which is currently been warmed. I have some turmeric, 1 teaspoon. I've got a tablespoon of cumin seeds. I've got 2 heaped tablespoons of curry powder, and that is Madras mild curry powder. I have some more cumin seeds over here. I've got a teaspoon. I've got a teaspoon of mustard seeds. I've got about 20 to 25 curry leaves. I have 1 bird's eye chili chopped. I have some garlic ginger paste. I have some gobi or cauliflower in the pan, just being boiled there and softened. And in here I've got 4 small green cardamoms, i.e. elachis, which have been lightly bruised with that. I've then got 4 potatoes, which have already been in a pressure cooker, so they're nice and soft. You could boil them if you don't have a pressure cooker. Pressure cooker makes them nicely and quickly. And then at the back there, I've got a onion that has been chopped. So my method here is very quick, it's very easy. You're also going to need a can of chopped tomatoes and some oil. To finish off, we're going to have some garam masala, and we're going to put some fenugreek leaves to finish off. It is a really easy recipe. It's not hard to make. And then the last ingredient will be some salt, just to season at the end. So we'll get straight into it, guys. The cauliflower, you want to be careful you don't overdo it, because if it gets soggy then it won't be nice. You want it to have a nice little crunch, and normally boil it for around about 10 minutes. So that is still very hard. That's not done yet. So we'll leave that, we'll do the rest in the meantime, and then hopefully by the time we get to it, it'll be ready to rock and roll. So first things first, I usually use rapeseed oil. You can use vegetable oil if you don't have rapeseed oil. I put about 2 tablespoons ish. Now what I do is I normally spread the oil around. I'm using a non-stick pan. Lots of people use aluminium pans when making curries, but I have a electric hob, and they're not very good for electric hobs, so non-stick pan is fine. So the oil's in there, the oil is nice and should be nice and hot in a second. So first things first, I'm going to put the mustard seeds in, and the cumin seed, and the elachi. I'll put the curry and curry leaves and the chili in together with the onions. The trick to the mustard seeds is you'll hear them pop. Very important, you wait for that to pop. You will get some really nice aromas from it as well. So if you're ever in doubt as whether your oil is done or not, you can just drop a little bit of water on it, and if it fizzles like it did there, you know your oil's done. That's how I normally do it. So first, oops, that's spitting quite a bit. That's very hot. So put that in there, and obviously be careful that it doesn't spit too much on you. So that's in there, and then we should hear the mustard seeds pop very shortly. I don't put a massive amount of oil in, and I central my spices together for health reasons. I try not to put too much oil in there at all. So that'll take a just turn the heat back up a bit. I did have it only on number 5. So once that's yeah, I can smell the aromas coming from that already. You want to be careful you don't burn the seeds. Yeah, you get some really nice aromas. Obviously, if you have an extractor fan, I've got the window wide open. You just want to keep the smell out of the house wherever possible. So yeah, I can just hear them starting to pop. And once you start hearing the pop, there's another little pop. You might not be able to hear it on the telephone. So once that starts to pop, the next thing I'm going to do is add the onions, and they will sizzle as well. Now, the potatoes that I made earlier, I did them 15 minutes in the pressure cooker. I always leave the skin on because there are nutrients in the skin. A lot of people take the skin off before making the potatoes, but personal preference. But again, I like to have them on there. So you want to mix the onions with the cumin seeds and the mustard seeds. Make sure you're constantly moving it. You do not want the seed to burn. I'm now going to add my elachi in there as well. Some people add the elachi right at the beginning. Again, personal preference. I lightly bruise them, meaning you can just about see the little black seeds pop out from the pod. So yeah, they're green cardamoms. I wouldn't use black cardamom seeds, they don't give the same flavour. So they're the onions cooking quite nicely. Once they're nice and brown, we'll then add on the other stuff. A few minutes have passed and the onions are browning a little bit. So I'm just going to throw in my curry leaves. There's about 20 to 25-ish of them. I'm going to put my bird's eye chili in there. If you don't have bird's eye, you can put in normal chili powder, about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon, depending on personal preference. Mix that in there. And I'm just going to turn the down a bit because you don't want anything burning. So yeah, that's done. Right, so next things next, I am going to put in 2 tablespoons of ginger and garlic paste, and you want to fry that. There's 1, 2. So that's 2 in there. I'm going to fry that, spread it out so it fries quicker. You want to do that. You'll smell a nice garlic aroma from there. You want to cook it until that aroma disappears. So I'm now just going to mix it all up. And that should all nicely clump together, which it is. I'm using a silicone spatula. Lots of people don't use this, they use traditional wood or even large spoons or all sorts. Personal preference, whatever works for you, you use that. So next I'm just going to add a little bit of chopped tomatoes, just a little bit. And again, if you want that chopped tomatoes smooth, you can always put it in a food processor or a blender first. I leave it because I don't mind trying to get it, those little chunks there. I don't mind them at all, but again, personal preference. So that's effectively the base of it done. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the cauliflower. As long as the cauliflower's right, I'm going to add the cauliflower and the potatoes with the spices here, and then chopped tomatoes. And that's the dish done, guys. Once we've added some fenugreek, some salt and garam masala, and it's done. Nice and easy. It's not difficult, this dish, but again, you know, it's good for you because there's lots of nutrients in it. There's no meat in it, so great for any vegetarians. And again, keeps in the fridge for 4 days. So I'm going to put this to one side. I'm going to drain the cauliflower, and then we'll come back and combine it all together. Welcome back, guys. So the cauliflower is done. It is not too soft, not too hard. I boiled it for another couple of minutes on high heat just to get it kicking. So that's really hot. The potatoes are still lukewarm from earlier. If you had made potatoes earlier or the day before or whatever, I maybe recommend either boiling them a little bit or pop them in the microwave and make sure they've got a little bit of heat in them, just so your dish will be ready to serve as soon as you've cooked. So I'm just going to spread out this masala, and then we'll throw in the cauliflower. And that was one full cauliflower I used, medium size. I think I said earlier about 4 potatoes. Throw them in there, just the right amount for the pan. I'm then going to put the spices in. So spread the cumin seeds predominantly over the potatoes and cauliflower. Then do the turmeric. Try to do the turmeric more over the masala. And then you've got your curry powder, yeah. So there you go, better view. And this really does come out really nice. Don't worry if you haven't covered everything, because I'm going to mix it all up. And then last but not least, chopped tomatoes. And then I'm going to mix all of that together. Now, and I always find this, if you find it's not saucy enough, you've then got 2 options. Either one, put some more chopped potatoes in, or you put some water in. And that's a common thing for a lot of Indian dishes. You know, it's quite common to have the dishes, so, and you see me throw things back in the pan, don't worry, I always sanitize this before cooking. So it's common in Indian dishes to reduce things down and to add water to bulk it back up again. So I've got a really nice covering there. So the only thing is I've got a few different bits that are not nicely covered with curry powder. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to get a little bit more curry powder and just put it over the bits that are looking a bit off colour. There we go. And then I'm going to add a little bit of water. So just took in a little bit of water from the kettle, just added that into there. And don't worry if you accidentally put far too much water in, because you just leave it to simmer and the water will evaporate. But you see there, that nice splash of water is giving me a nice bit of sauce with the food. Now, I don't pressure cook the cauliflower with the potatoes on purpose, because the amount of time the potatoes need causes the cauliflower effectively to get too soft and almost disintegrate, which is what you don't want. So there we go. Now what I'm going to do is add the final touches. So that smells really good. Smells really good. And we see it's just minimal effort just putting it together. So what I'm going to do is I want to get a good pinchful of fenugreek. And just spread it evenly, just get a little bit more. Unfortunately, there isn't anything you really can substitute. I know it can be difficult to find. And then I'm going to put in a teaspoon of garam masala. There's a nice little ending to the dish, and I'll give that a good stir, and we've got some fantastic aromas coming from this. And then you can eat this with roti, chapatis, naan bread. You can have it with rice if you wish, or eat it just by itself. You can also eat it with, have a look what a paronta is. That's really nice, quite unhealthy, but especially because a lot of people cover them in butter or ghee. But there you go. So last thing to add is some salt. So I'm putting about 3/4 of a teaspoon in there. It's quite a lot. You don't have to add salt if you don't want to. Personal choice. Or if you find flavours aren't what you expect, you'd be surprised how just adding a little bit more salt has an impact on the flavours. So I'm just going to serve it up with some coriander, or cilantro as it's known in some places, and there you have it. Aloo Gobi made nice and quickly at home. Tastes fantastic. Really healthy for you, and I'm just going to serve it up, and hopefully you enjoyed that cooking. As ever, please subscribe to my YouTube channel where I try to put as many recipes on as possible. I also have an Instagram page which is Cooking with Rishi. Please follow me on both, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Thank you. That's the finished dish, guys. You will see if you keep it in the fridge overnight and eat it the next day, the flavour will develop even more. So I highly recommend that once you've had your initial portion, and that's why I make a large portion, because I keep it and I'll eat it the next day, and usually you may prefer the flavours of it the next day. Thanks again for watching.